Hi, I'm Jerry James Stone, and in today's episode, I'm going to show you how to make a delicious chowder. It has two of my favorite things. The first ingredient is cheese, and the second is, well, anything that goes with cheese. Okay, I'm just kidding. Seriously, honestly, it's Brussels sprouts. Cheese and Brussels sprouts, I can never eat enough of those two things, and so when they're together, I'm pretty darn happy. And this chowder is super delicious, so I think you're going to like it. Let's get to it, shall we? The first thing for this recipe requires melting some butter. So we're just going to go ahead and melt that over a medium-high heat. And then we'll saute some veggies. So when I'm cooking, I always prefer to use unsalted butter. I use unsalted butter because I like to control how much salt I'm adding to my food. And it's much easier when you know what salt is actually in the food. Now we're gonna create the base, the flavor base for our soup. Start off with chopped onions, use chopped leeks, and some carrots, and celery. And just get all that coated by the butter and saute it until it's nice and tender. And now I'm adding in salt. It's always best to add in salt early because if you add it in earlier while cooking, then you'll use less because it takes time for the salt to penetrate the food. So what I'm creating here is called a mirepoix, and that is what you typically use, or it's traditionally used to create the base of like soups and stocks and stuff like that. Traditionally you do 2 parts onion, 1 part carrot, 1 part celery. I did equal parts onion and leeks, but you can kind of mix it up however you want to. It's really just to get that flavor base going for whatever soup you're creating. Now we're gonna add in some chopped garlic. Let's mix that in. Now I'm gonna add in some flour. This is to thicken the sauce since we're making a chowder. You always want it to be on the thick side. In lieu of creating a roux, we're just gonna add it to the vegetables here and then just stir it in so they're all completely coated before we add in our broth. Add some fresh thyme. And now we're going to add our vegetable broth. This broth is it's on the dark side. This is actually homemade broth. Every time I cook, I save the scraps, freeze them, and then I roast those scraps and create my own broth to reduce food waste. And now we're just going to bring this to a boil. So the thing about creating the base flavor with the mirepoix is you can either leave it in or you can strain it out when you actually move on to the next step. For this particular recipe, I'm going to strain some of it out because it's mostly about the chowder. It's like potatoes and Brussels sprouts, but you don't have to. It's really a personal preference. Okay, I'm just going to start straining out the ingredients here. Now we're going to add in some Yukon Gold potatoes that we just cut into cubes. And here we go, the main ingredient for this chowder, some Brussels sprouts. I just shredded these earlier. And now I'm just gonna saute them until they're just slightly tender before I add them to the soup. It's not that the potatoes are cooked and are tender, I'm just gonna mash them up a little bit. The potato masher, this is just to kind of get that starch and out of the potato a little bit more and makes the soup a little on the creamier side, which is exactly what you want for a chowder. How much you mash them is up to you. Now we're going to add in some corn. And one of the best parts of this recipe, shredded cheddar cheese, because it's a cheesy chowder. Now to add in our sauteed Brussels sprouts, because you can't have Brussels sprout chowder without Brussels sprouts. Now the very last ingredient is some tempered cream. Just mix that all together. You have a delicious cheddar and Brussels sprout chowder. So there you have it. That's how you make this amazing chowder. I hope you enjoyed the recipe. If you try it out, please let me know. Feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. And also remember, every single time I will put a link to the exact ingredients in the show notes. Hit me up on Twitter, say hey, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.